Hello, my sexy, soulful Saggies. Welcome, welcome. It is Sachi the Scorpio, and I'm here to deliver your guided healing tarot for the month of March. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The more energy that you send to me, the more energy that I can send to you. And thank you so much for all of your likes, Sagittarius. You were one like away from time for first last month, which gets you a bonus twin flame video, so please continue to support the channel, and maybe you'll come in first place and get a bonus video. So anyway, this is what came up in the cleansing ceremony, Sag. We had strength come out, so some Leo energy, and in this deck this indicates literally your soul, okay? Like the strength that is within you in order to enact your willpower. So I was really feeling solar plexus energy kind of being drained from the way that the heart has been overactive in some sort of way. It feels like there was a situation that like you're learning how strong you really are, and it's through how much power was taken from you in some sort of situation, how you gave up power. And it's because, again, it really felt like the solar plexus chakra was not solidified because the heart was kind of bleeding, okay? Behind it, we had the Two of Cups and the Death reverse come out as well. So this is telling me that there's some sort of soulmate relationship that is not over, okay? With Death in reverse, it does mean that, you know, I mean, in this deck, it's actually the Grim Reaper. So usually, you know, death doesn't indicate a physical ending, but in this deck, it does. But because it's coming out in reverse, like something has not ended, but you're also stopping the rebirth of it. Because the Two of Cups, you know, that does indicate a soulmate, a love soulmate. But in this deck, it tells a story of Isabella and the basil plant. So, you know, she was in love with her servant boy, and you know, her brothers found out that they were in love, and they ended up killing the guy because they thought that their sister deserved better. She was so heartbroken that she went and dug him up, cut his head off, put it in this pot of, you know, this pot, and grew basil over it, and then loved and nurtured the plant and had, like, you know, such a love connection, not able to let go. And usually the Two of Cups, right, is always a really good card. And even in this sense, it is, because it does tell a story of true love, but it does talk about loss and hurt and heartbreak, and how love was still kept alive and nurtured in some sort of way. And just because the love that you have and that you're giving to your basil plant, you know, your spiritual basil plant, just because the love is real doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to let go, right? There is something that has ended that you haven't been able to fully mourn over yet in order for it to be rebirthed. Like it's still stuck on dead love rather than looking for new love, okay? And it feels like it's taking so much strength out of you, but you have recognized how strong you are in this sense. We have Volbeat using signal beam. So this is telling me again that the heart chakra just has this signal beam coming out of it. Like it's like your heart chakra was taking up all of your solar plexus chakra's energy. We had Double Dragon come out in reverse. So this is telling me it's a twin flame situation. Double dragon type is always twin flame, and double dragon, you know, is twin flame united. So this is the connection that you have with your twin, just yanking the solar plexus energy out of you. Okay. You know, solar plexus in reverse is exactly what I was feeling with these cards, that, you know, your love for them was going out so much, it was taking your willpower and your own personal strength and your own personal identity by draining your solar plexus. And it's because there's such strong fighting energy within your sacral chakra, which is, you know, where you sensually and emotionally connect to others. It's so strong and fighting for this connection, even though we see it's a pot of basil at this point. And that's why it's been like you've been drained, because you can't let go of the sacral and you're working in your heart. It's like, you know, there's just a pull on both ends, right? Because it's sacral, solar plexus, then heart chakra. And it's just like nothing has been going to your solar plexus. It's really been about how much you love them and how emotionally connected you are. So, Saggy, whoosh, that's what came out in the cleansing ceremony. Happy Pisces season. So this month what we're going to do is take a look into what emotional depths are you in, right? Because Pisces is all about that deep, dark, you know, shadowy abyss of the unknown, those deep, dark waters, the unconscious, the subconscious. And then we're going to take a look into what is keeping you down, what's keeping you stuck down in that water. And then in the extended, we are going to take a look into how can we bring you to shore. That will be the earth and physical element needed to get out of the water, to ground you. And then we will look into how do we dry you off? What is the air and the mental aspect that you need in order to get out of these waters, right? Because we want to be able to ground and dry off to prepare for the fire that is Aries season that is right around the corner. And as a fire sign, it is definitely important for you to ground and dry off more than, you know, some of the other signs. So of course we will also take a look into how to manifest your highest vibrational timeline and get some oracle advice. So let's see, Saggies, what emotional depths are you in? What emotional depths is Saggy in? So we have two that want to come out. The Hanged Man in reverse. Yeah, there's some sort of resistance to change here. It's like you can't accept that there has been some sort of ending. It's like that Two of Cups thing, like, you know it's done, but you're still holding on to it, and the only thing keeping it alive is the love that you have. But it does seem to go one way. I mean, in a way, right? I mean, the basil plant, of course, you know, plants can respond to us, and we can love our plants and they can love us, and we can feel that, right? If you've worked with plant life, then you know. But it's still not the same as the love that, you know, was once there. So, right, because the Hanged Man indicates when, you know, no paths lead from the Hanged Man. It's when you accept some sort of defeat and are able to move on. Like, okay, this is an ending, you know, and we see that there could potentially be some sort of rebirth, but your inability to be able to let go is really an issue here. And this card specifically is vampires, like energy vampires that drain. You know, the way that they stay alive is by draining, you know, the living. So, you know, it feels like you were in some sort of relationship with someone where, like, they didn't have a sense of self and you knew who you were. And that's why, you know, they wanted to attach to you and wanted your love. And, you know, it has drained your sense of self to where you feel like you're not sure who you are anymore. Okay, again, it does feel like your twin. That is just, Aries had the same message. They were just siphoning off energy from their solar plexus. Yeah, the moon in reverse. So you might be aware of this. You might be aware of this. It's coming to light. Like, it's not hidden in the shadows, so it does seem like you know that there is some sort of energy vampire situation going on. However, with the moon coming out in reverse, this is Pisces energy in reverse, it looks like this cycle hasn't come to a full close and you haven't been able to do the shadow work here. Because the moon for me is when you go into the shadows, right? You go deep down into the subconscious, the unconscious, and then you find the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, right? Which is the light in the shadow, which is moonlight. So it's looking like you haven't done the shadow work here, and that's what's really keeping you down. It feels like some sort of resistance to kind of go deeper because, you know, if you were to accept this ending, then there would be some sort of shift. But it's like you're resisting the fact that this is over, and therefore you can't really go into the deeper layers of what the moon can offer here. What's the light energy? Trainer Professor Oak's hint. So there could, I mean, trainer always indicates the other person. It doesn't feel like this is your twin though. Whenever Professor Oak's hint comes out, I take it as some sort of professional. This could be like an academic professional or someone else who like says they have the answers, sort of thing of like, oh, well, you know, the way that you can do this is by this, but it looks like this person's advice is not getting you to the depths that you desire here, or that is even necessary. Haunter, pain amplifier. Yeah, this is keeping you in pain. So it's like, because you aren't able to go to those deeper levels. So it's funny because, you know, we're looking at what emotional depths you're in, but it looks like, Saggy, you're trying to go deeper. You haven't even gotten as deep as you want or something, or what is, you know, right for your spiritual path at this time. Whew. Yeah, because Haunter using Pain Amplifier, right? This is ghosts of the past that are causing some sort of psychic pain for you. You know, very much in the third eye. And there could be someone telling you, like, don't go that deep. You know, you don't have to accept this ending. You know, don't go down that door because it's only going to bring you into pain. It says, it strikes at humans in total darkness. Those licked by its cold tongue grow weaker with each passing day until they die. So yeah, it strikes a human in total darkness. Again, it does seem like, you know, there could be some resistance to go there because you are afraid of maybe the pain that you might feel if you go deeper. And, you know, because like the ghosts of the past come, right? Like when you're in total darkness and it looks like you're like, no, I don't want to go down into total darkness anymore. Like, I don't want to be in that shadowy abyss, which is great, Saggy, because, you know, you were in a pretty dark place for quite some time. So it's good to see that you're not, you know, inflicting this sort of psychic pain, but it does feel like you're still resisting the shadow work that you actually have to do for this. It does talk about, you know, being licked by a cold tongue until the day it dies. And that's kind of how I'm feeling this vampiric energy. It's like, you know, it's okay, of course, to take your break, but you still haven't gotten to the part about why this ghost of the past is still able to siphon your energy. You haven't been able to let it go. You haven't reached the point of depth, which the shadow bounce back. Yeah. So there's some fighting energy here in the sacral chakra. So of course, you know, it could be who you are emotionally and you know, essentially connected to, but this feels like fighting energy that's pushing you backwards more on your spiritual path, which is okay because we do have to take turns. Interesting. I mean, yeah, in the twin flame journey, you definitely have to take turns with your twin of how exactly you're healing. You both can't be going through spiritual upgrades, right? Usually one's going through the spiritual, one's going through the physical, and then vice versa. But it does seem like there has been some sort of pushback. Okay, that there's been a fight of like, nope, like, I'm not gonna do the work right now. It says it freely controls 3 small mini units called mini noses using magnetic force. So this is some sort of false mask situation. Someone's wearing a false mask. I'm not sure if it's you, Saggy, or if it's someone else. But it does feel like there are, you know, 4 people involved. It might be this professional or whatever. It's like, you know, someone wearing a mask that's trying to, you know, control other people and tell them what to do. So just be wary of that. It could be this person who's an energy vampire, you know, right? Because if you're able to drain someone's energy, you usually can manipulate them as well. So just be wary of that, Sag. Let's see what's keeping you down, what's keeping you stuck. Although it does seem like you're pretty buoyant, so... you know, it's more like what's keeping you stuck than down. Yeah, Knight of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Basically that you can't, like you, just like I said, like you haven't reached that point of depth in your shadow work to truly be able to let it go. You feel like it's not time to do that work at all. Like the Knight of Wands, this is a story of a knight who goes down into the water to rescue his fair lady. All right, so she passes into the other world. He makes a deal with some sort of god so that he's able to travel into the underworld to try to rescue her. And, you know, it's in reverse. So it does feel like your own masculine energy that's unwilling to go into those dark depths to rescue the feminine. And that is also, you know, part of the belief that the external masculine is not going to come and help. Okay, but it is a reflection of your own masculine energy unwilling to save the feminine in some sort of way. And with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, like, again, you know, the Queen of Pentacles in this deck, she ushers in the ending of harvest, right? She brings in the frost and lets things die in order to be rebirthed, right? Winter is not death. Plants are not dead. At least most aren't, right? I mean, some do, but you know, the essence of nature and reblooming is kept with the promise of the Queen of Pentacles. She understands the value of time and cycles and how the frost must happen in order for these, you know, certain types of plants to truly thrive, right? Again, it's kind of like that basil situation. It's like you're resisting the frost from coming in to truly let it go and give something time to truly die in order to be reborn again in the spring. And it's in reverse. It's just, there's just so much resistance that I'm feeling. Let's see, what's the light energy? Meowth using Fury Swipes. So it does seem like this is making you take anger out through communication, because anytime it's normal, right, it has to do with communications. And Fury Swipes is an attack where it's like, and it's like scratched like multiple times on the opponent. And it just kind of feels like, you know, when a cat does that, just like, it's just like, oh my God, right? It's definitely like aggressive and, you know, like, yeah, that's the kind of energy that it feels like how you're communicating is like, just gonna like claw up your opponent. Meowth is also the money cat. So, you know, there could be some luck with finances, which is good, but, there could be something about valuing money here, because Meowth is the cat who doesn't understand the value of money because it's always on its head, right? It says, adores round objects. It wanders the streets on a nightly basis to look for dropped loose change. So it's talking about adoring round objects. And like, honestly, there is something to be said about like fruits and vegetables and stuff. So hopefully you are eating fresh. But the round object, honestly, I'm feeling as the clock that she's holding and the amulet that he's holding to get his love. Like, you know, you do adore these things, the concept of giving things time and, you know, this ability to go very deep, but it just feels like you're more focused on other things. And it's making you furious and take things out in a different way. And you might be, you know, it says wandering the streets on a nightly basis. So you might be, you know, going around town and, you know, wandering around, maybe actually finding change on the ground, or wanting change. Like you want something to change. Let's see, what's the shadow? Which isn't bad, but it's like you're looking for change external to yourself instead of internally. Luxray using Bite. Yeah, so it looks like you are you eating a lot of yellow stuff perhaps, like bananas, lemons, I mean, even unfresh fruit that's yellow, but it does look like now that you are finally getting your solar plexus back from the situation, again, it feels like, you know, what we picked up on the cleansing ceremony is what's being cleansed and let go. And now it feels like, you know, kind of solar plexus overdrive of really understanding your strength, but it looks like you're using it in the external world instead of your inner work. It says Luxray's ability to see through objects comes in handy when it's scouting for danger. So it seems like, you know, instead, yeah, like seeing through external objects, like you can smell bullshit from a mile away. It's like you can see through things very easily. Like anyone who tries to put some sort of facade or whatever, you can see, like, you know, the true agenda, I want to say. It feels like you can see through this false mask as well. But the thing is that, you know, and scouting for danger, again, there's very much focus on the external world rather than looking within. Like, instead of looking through your own soul, you're kind of in an investigative mindset of like, let me see through everything, everyone else's bullshit so that I can change things. So yeah, it looks like you're stuck on trying to change the world external to you rather than through you. And we do have, you know, Luxray coming out, which is some Leo energy. So again, there really is emphasis on like pride and solar plexus, strength. All right, so let's see what's going to take us into the extended. We're going to pull a moon card. And like I said, in the extended, we're going to take a look at how do we bring you to shore? That's the earth physical element. How do we dry you off? The air mental, how to advice on manifesting your highest vibrational timeline, and some oracles. So let's see what wants to bring us into the extended for dear Saggies. The energy is gaining momentum in reverse, waxing moon. Yeah, so the thing is, I do feel this kind of, you know, false mask follower sort of thing. Like, yeah, I'm going to control other people with the magnetic force kind of thing. It seems like this whole energy of you resisting and not doing it, like, it's not gaining momentum. It feels more like the spiritual work. Like, it feels like, how do I put this? Instead of gaining momentum, you're like, what you're doing, right? Because when you gain momentum, that's when you like store potential energy within an object, right? It's like if you have something on a hill and you have something holding it up, right? It gains momentum through, you know, falling by absorbing that potential energy, right? And then it turns into kinetic energy. And it just feels like the way that has been halted, like the way that you've halted your like spiritual path, is causing you to just slow down in other ways. And it looks like even maybe what you're trying to exchange or like change external to you is not gaining momentum either. Let's get some more clarity, please. Yeah, your dreams need a practical plan in reverse, the full moon in Taurus. So, you know, it seems like the practicality of the situation is not necessarily there. But also it feels like you're forgetting your true dream. Because full moon in Taurus, when it comes out in reverse, it's telling me that, like, you know, the physical world needs a little bit less of an emphasis on it. Okay? And that's why, like, it doesn't matter how practical of a plan that you may even try to have. It's just not gaining momentum here. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. Again, it's like this Hanged Man in reverse. It's like trying to, refusing to accept something. So instead of doing it spiritually, you're refusing to accept something in the physical world and putting all of your energy towards that. Okay? All right, Saggies. So like I said, if you would like to follow me into the extended, the link is in the description box below. Same for my information if you are interested in a private reading. I will be closing my books after Pisces season for a couple months to be focused on some astrology and creative projects. So follow me on Instagram and Twitter for that stuff. And if we part ways here, then good luck with the situation. I am sending you so, so much love, a big hug, and a kiss on your third eye. Mwah.